This is Coach Lee, and in this video, I'm going to share with you why your ex must come to you in order for it to work out and you two to get back together. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so you can be notified when I have more videos. I'm going to go over 5 reasons why your ex must be the one to come to you if you want this to work out long term or even short term. And I'm going to give you a bonus at the end just because I'm a nice guy. So be sure to watch all the way to the end to get all the reasons and the bonus. And it's important that while you're watching my videos, you take your time. You don't just try to get through the video. You actually absorb these things. You don't get in a rush. You write them down. You take notes. This stuff is important because, as many of you have learned, when your ex reaches out or when you have one of those days of doubt where there's panic, where there's anxiety, a lot of times you begin to question things. You feel like you don't know what to do, like there's no plan. And so the more you can ingrain these principles, the better your chances of getting your ex back, if that's what you want to do, and if that's the best thing for you. So reason number 1 is a long-term reason. It's important to get your ex back short-term, and it's important to keep them long-term, and that is your attraction. Because when they come to you and you're sitting across from them, they're making a request where they are wanting to get back together with you. You are in the position of attraction. You have attracted them back, and they are witnessing this. They are watching themselves go through this as they come to you, as you were able to stay away. And attraction is so important. And I'm not just talking about physical attraction, though that's part of it, and we would be lying to ourselves completely if we acted like it weren't. There's 3 areas of attraction: physical, emotional, and intellectual. And you want all of those. You want all of those in yourself, and you want all of those in a partner. When attraction falls, especially emotional attraction, that's when breakups happen. And emotional attraction can fall because the other person is bad to you and mistreats you for long periods of time, or because maybe they let themselves go. And I'm not just talking physically, I'm talking more emotionally, like they don't do the things they did at the beginning. And you should be doing those things too. You both should be courting and pursuing each other in an ideal relationship. It's not ideal right now because they've broken up with you, and so you need to back off and let them pursue you. But attraction is at the heart of most breakups, a loss in attraction. And when you pursue them, your attraction stays about where it was when they broke up with you. But when you back off, give them the breakup, and let them pursue you, that's when your attraction can go back up. You become the one in the position of attracting and not the one chasing. You become the chased, which is good for this moment in time. When the relationship gets back to where it should be down the road, you will be mutually chasing, mutually pursuing, which is how it should be. But for the moment, it's not how it should be. There's a problem, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. So the reason you want to make sure you let your ex come to you, attraction, your attraction. Reason number 2 that you want your ex to be the one to come to you is because they need to be ready. They will come to you when they're ready. And this is not just a simple matter of arguing about the definition or the timing of coming back or being ready. The point is that if your ex is ready to get back together with you, meaning they have actually had to experience some of the things I'm going to talk about in just a little bit, then we know that they are ready. And they know that they are ready, and they feel like it's time. There's no doubt. They don't feel like it's rushed, or maybe that they were too quick to get back together with you. You don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff that actually causes reunions to fade out and the person to pull away again. They are most receptive when they're ready. So sometimes maybe they notice that you're not contacting them. They start to think they could lose you. They see that. They see the reality of the situation, that you're strong enough to stay away. And so they start moving towards you casually at first. I talk about that in several of my more recent videos about how an ex will actually come to you when they're ready to get back together, or when they're at least considering it. And it's not always direct. So don't expect that it's just going to be this direct request to get back together. A lot of times it's casual, and they're just kind of checking in and seeing how you are in terms of your openness and your receptiveness to getting back together, because nobody wants to be rejected, and people will avoid it. and they will try to get an idea of what's going on. And so even then, you don't just take it all back at once. You don't just give it back to them at once. You tell them you're open, but you want to take it slowly, and you move slowly because, again, it is so important that your ex is ready. Don't rush this. Good things come to those who wait, to those who are patient, and to those who persevere. You try to steal it, usually you get caught, and it doesn't work out well for you. The same is true when trying to reattract someone. It needs to be organic and natural, and when they're ready, that's when things are most powerful, and that's when you have the best chance of getting them back like you want and also keeping them. Be sure to check out my emergency breakup kit. I'll link to that in the description below. It's the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service. It can help you get your ex back. Take a look in the description below and I'll have a link to it. And be sure to hit that subscribe button as we move to the third reason. You should let your ex be the one to come to you. The third reason is that it teaches your ex a lesson. And no, I'm not saying that in some tough guy kind of, we're going to teach them a lesson kind of way, even though perhaps there's a sliver of that going on. What it teaches them is that in the future, if they start feeling things fade, if they start thinking that maybe there's a brighter sunrise somewhere else without you, and they start thinking maybe they want to break up again, they have to remember that you didn't fix what they broke, that you stayed back, because that's a different matter. If they feel like if they break up with you, that you'll chase, that you'll fight for them, that you'll make it easy, that you'll be right there, and they won't have to worry that the breakup was a mistake, then it's going to be easier to break up with you. That's just human nature. If you think someone will fix what you broke, if you think someone will clean up your mess, if you think someone will bail you out when you spend poorly, the temptation is there to do those things, to not worry about the consequences because someone else will bail you out. And you can't let them think that. You need to teach them that you will not fix what they broke. And that is what they can reflect on and remember if this happens to come up again. And relationships go through ups and downs. There will be days of doubt. There will be difficult times, arguments, frustration, hurt feelings, even rejection from your partner. And those things are difficult. They should not be something that lasts long term. It shouldn't be how the relationship is always, or else the two of you probably don't need to be together. But it will happen occasionally. That's just because people are not perfect. Humans are not perfect. But when those times come up that are just occasionally, that are part of human nature and human relationships, you want your ex to know that you will not bail them out. That if they make this mistake, that there's a risk that they could lose you. That's what you want to teach them. That's what you want your ex to learn. And that's why you need to let them be the one to come to you. Number 4, you want your ex to have the experience of missing you. That is so important because they need to know that when you're not there, that when they kick you out of their life, that they miss you, that they see you had a place, that you're not there and they take note, that their heart feels emptier, that they feel lonely, that even when they're around other people, it's not the same. You want your ex to miss you. It's one of those things that some couples don't get to experience often, especially if you're with this person permanently. Some couples are never away from each other, and some people can handle it. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but in this situation, there's actually a silver lining. If your ex misses you, it's similar to point number 3, that it's something they learn, but it's something that they go through. And it actually raises your value on the other side because they have been without you and they missed you. And so when they are with you, it is less likely that they'll take you for granted. Your value will be where it should be because they got to experience missing you and feeling that life was not what it should be without you. So while it hurts, while this is not a good situation, it has a silver lining, and this can actually be a long-term benefit for your ex to experience this. Let your ex miss you. Let it happen. Be willing to be a bull in the china shop and throw a few dishes in the air to hear them break on the floor. Let your ex miss you. So reason number 5, and after, is the bonus. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and also to check out my emergency breakup kit. And there's a link to my tip jar in the description below as well. So reason number 5, before I get to the bonus reason, is your ex trusts it more when it comes from them. Have you ever had the feeling you were talked into something? Like maybe you weren't so sure, then someone kind of encouraged and nudged and bugged and prodded and pushed you, and you kind of said, okay. It's a little bit frustrating. You don't really trust it. You wonder if you made the right decision. That's not what you want your ex to feel. You don't want your ex to feel like you talked them into it. For starters, in those days of doubt, those difficult days in a relationship that most relationships go through, that I mentioned in the last point, when those happen, you don't want your ex to say, see, I kind of felt like maybe this wasn't coming from me, that this wasn't something I trust, that this came because I was pushed and forced and prodded into doing this. You don't want them to think that. If they come to you and they are the ones who learned what they needed to learn, who experienced missing you and could see, no, this is not what I want, that's when they trust it because they're ready, like I mentioned early on. When they trust it, that's when you can trust it long term, that they're not going to look at it and think, maybe I was just talked into this. But when it comes from within them, and when you don't just respond right away with, yes, of course, but you say, I'm open to it, let's take it slowly, I want to take this slowly, that's the best way to go. It lets things happen organically and naturally, and they will trust it. And when they trust it, they can trust the relationship, they can feel like this is how it should be, that they weren't just pushed back into this because you wanted it, but because they wanted it. So let them come to you so they'll trust it. And for the bonus reason on why you should let your ex be the one to come to you, it returns the power that you had before. And I don't mean dictatorial power. I just mean the power of making a decision, making your own decision. Do you want this person or not? They get to come to you instead of you having to come to them. Your ex was the one who got to make the decision before, so they had the power. You were at their mercy. They were the ones deciding this relationship was over. You want that back. You want to be able to have a say. And when it returns it to where it's mutual, where they're asking and you are accepting, and now you two are choosing to be together, that's a much better situation. You want the power to be equal. That would be ideal. Some of us might say, well, I'd rather have more power. I get that, but ideally it would be pretty much equal. And this helps accomplish that because you get to make a decision. You get to be the one having a request made of you instead of you begging for mercy. And that gives you the best chance long term of being together with this person that you love. If you like this video, if it was helpful, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Take a look at my emergency breakup kit. Leave me a tip if this video was helpful. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.